Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, live from our international office. And today I'm going to be talking to you directly about the future of coaching. And as we get started here today, I want you to understand that I know this industry very well. I don't purport to know it the best, but it's safe to say that most insiders in the area of coaching, consulting, and training will say that there's probably, you'd be challenged to find anybody that knows this industry better than I do. And it's not, again, because I'm brighter or smarter than anybody else. It's just I've taken the kind of action steps that most people would be scared to take. And I've also had a lot of luck as well. And with every great business, if you're executing, following what I've been teaching you about the seamless success, doing what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing, it's amazing how many doors open up for you. And so many people think, hey, Glenn got it lucky. And yes, I got it lucky. But however, I did a lot of smart work behind the scenes to get lucky. And in today's market, you've got to be extremely strategic in your ability to execute and the ability to outthink your competition. I've given you 5 rules in several trainings ago on what is crucial to stand apart from your competitors. And one of those is it's not good enough to compete anymore. It's either play big or go home. It's either dominate. It's either compare yourself to others or have others compare themselves to you. And the marketplace has been delineated in that way. And it is such a clearly defined mark in today's marketplace where you're either comparing yourself to others or you're having others compare themselves to you. And you and I are sharing this time together because you are interested, and not just interested. A lot of people are interested. The chicken is interested. The pig is committed. And I want you to be a pig today. Why? Because life or death is at stake with your company. You see, as I was explaining to a client earlier today, I mentioned about the law of irrelevancy, the law of irrelevancy. And you might not know this law, but it follows another law, and it's called Zipf's law. And Zipf's law is built on Milgram's law. So you probably want to take some notes right now, because we're going to be going very quickly. And I've spent almost 12,000 hours now in the book that is coming out called The Future of Coaching. And I'm going to show you a working graphic of that very shortly. But we've accumulated a lot of cutting edge research on how to build a leading coaching, consulting, and training company today. I'm in a very enviable position to be very selective on who I work with. What if you could do the same? What if you had the same problem as I have? My goal is to help you get the same kind of problem that I have. And in fact, that's why my clients invest in our programs and services, because they want the same problems that Glenn Dietzel has. And I want you to begin to experience this in your own business. So as I was mentioning, the law of irrelevancy. The law of irrelevancy is here. And undergirding the law of irrelevancy is another law called Zipf's law. And undergirding that law is another law called Milgram's law. So you want to write these down, okay? Because this is crucial to understand the new realities of the post-information age, the advisory age in which we live. The day and age, unless you know how to get to $500,000, if you're in startup mode and you've got to get there this year, or I can almost guarantee you, you will be irrelevant, not just in 2015, but beyond. And I don't want to be that, please don't kill the messenger. I'm just the conduit to tell you what I know in this industry as an insider, and what very few others will tell you about what's really going on in the coaching, consulting, and training industry. If you know what you're doing, you can make a killing. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're going it alone, if you're nickeling and diming everything, the kind of people that trip over $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 deals to get to the dollar, the $10, the $20, $50 deals, That's what today's experts and gurus are teaching you inadvertently, right? Using the traditional business funnel. You've got to be a lot more strategic. So let's go to our 3 laws. First law is Milgram's law. The marketplace blindly believes the words of an expert. What does that mean? That means that your potential candidates will blindly believe your words if you follow the 3 Ps: position, package, and create a different plan of execution. So you want to leverage Milgram's law. Milgram's law says this: literally, you have less than 1 second to influence your target market to see you as the standard in the market. Okay, follow me here because we're going to be building on this today, and we're going to be going quickly. So you're going to want to take notes. You're probably going to want to draw some diagrams today because I'm going to be disappearing in and out, okay? Secondly, we got to go fast too because it's a cold day where I am. We're at the Canadian Lake home today. This morning I woke up with wind chill factors around minus 35 Celsius. If you don't know what that's in Fahrenheit, minus 35 Celsius intersects roughly with about minus 35 Fahrenheit. It is stinking cold. So we're going to speed up our conversations today. Why? To keep us all warm, keep me warm, and most importantly, I want to help you with momentum. So undergirding Milgram's law is Zipf's law. And Zipf's law says this: that you have that in an overcrowded marketplace that we live in, i.e. the post-information age, your marketplace will choose the company or person perceived to be on top, and you literally have as little as 4 seconds to do that. So Milgram's law is the 1 second rule, which I call the 1 second rule. Milgram's law, or Zipf's law, is the 4 second rule, to be seen as the standard in the market or the perceived expert, guru, authority, advisor, among all the other experts and gurus. Remember, either compare yourself to others or have others compare themselves to you. Okay? And the law of irrelevancy says this. The law of irrelevancy says this: that in an overcrowded marketplace, your potential candidates will do this. And you will do it. I do it. Everybody does it. To protect our time, we want to test everything based on the law of irrelevancy. And the law of irrelevancy says this: if I've seen it before, I don't want to see it again. I'm too busy. And this is what's absolutely critical. This is why following the advice of most authority, quote unquote authorities in the area of building an expert platform, guru platform, etc., that advice goes totally against what I'm telling you right now. And it goes against the law of irrelevancy. If you're doing what your competitors are doing and your potential candidate for your program sees this, or they see you looking like, sounding like, acting like, talking like your competitors, they see you as irrelevant. And not only do they want to see you as irrelevant, but they need to see you as irrelevant. Why? Because the average person today in a course of a day has 80,000 thoughts coming at them. 80,000 thoughts. Out of that, to stand apart in that marketplace with where the average, your potential candidate has 80,000 thoughts, you have to be very strategic. And we're not going to go in, I'm not going to break it down into the science of how many marketing messages, how to get into the conscious versus the subconscious and all that. We've covered that on other training. What I need you to understand is that your marketplace today, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, thanks to the iPhone, where you can access everything at a click of a mouse, or Siri can do it for you, you are overwhelmed. Your potential candidates are overwhelmed. And your potential candidates, in order to protect themselves, and you do this, need to see the data that's coming in as irrelevant. Why? Because we got to have a filter. And that filter is the law of irrelevancy. So the law of irrelevancy is built on the Zipf's law, the 4 second rule, which is built on Milgram's law, the 1 second rule. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you as sort of, if you will, the foundation of helping you not be irrelevant and putting all your time and effort into a book where 96% of authors fail to make a profit, putting all your effort and time into trying to build or scale a coaching company around low-end programs and services, doing what others do, is simply just ensuring that you will hit, or that your potential candidates for your programs will see you as irrelevant. So you want to be totally different. You've got to stand apart. This is the IP age, everybody. You've got to understand this. This is the day and age to think a little bit different, to execute a little bit different, to move your body a little bit different. All right. And I've been teaching this now for 12 years. And I can tell you this, that unless you get to $500,000 as fast as possible, you are not going to have the cash flow to be able to scale and grow your company, and to be able to invest in marketing and invest in entrepreneurship. And here's a quick test for you, as just before we go, and I'm going to be disappearing off and on. Here's a quick test for you on your willingness to execute and get to $500,000 or higher within the next 6 months. If you're just in startup mode, or if you've had a coaching company or consulting company and you're losing traction, you've got to know how to scale a 7-figure coaching business immediately. Why? There's too much competition. And too much competition feeds into the law of irrelevancy. And the law of irrelevancy really means that most of what you're doing today is probably a waste of time. Okay, and that's why you and I are sharing this time right now, because we've got to be able to, in the IP age, follow the 3 Ps. Position ourselves differently, right? You need that. Package your IP differently. You're going to love what I show you today. And most importantly, create a better plan of execution. Okay, I call that the 3 Ps of success. And that feeds into the seamless success, doing what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. All right, so I set the stage here. I want to show you something here, and let me share my screen here with you. And this will, I'll be, as I said, I've got a number of things I'm going to be sharing here with you today. So first of all, I want to talk to you about the future of coaching, an insider's guide to getting paid over and over again as the industry leader. All right. And it's all about today creating leverage profits. And when I talk about leverage profits, I mean having a coaching program that also lends itself to a high-end training program or division within your company, or a separate entity for yourself that creates leverage profits. When we talk about leverage profits, we're talking about profits that are cumulative, passive, and long-term. Cumulative, passive, and long-term. And if you don't have that, you're trading time for money. And trading time for money as a coach, consultant, or trainer is a recipe for irrelevancy in today's market. Why? Because you simply don't have enough time to make the critical investments in what you need to do. And if you follow what most experts and gurus are teaching about creating, some lead generators and creating off of a traditional business funnel and writing copy and putting proposals in the marketplace and writing and putting together long presentations, you don't have time to do that, let alone go out and try to search for leads and build off of a better conversion systems. You don't have the time. And you need to understand this. This is why you have to have an ROIT business, return on invested time. Okay? So, I'm going to be sharing with you the future of coaching. The book, I'm going to give you access to that. We're going to talk about this next week. So a little bit of anticipation for our training next week, but I wanted to point that out, that what I'm sharing with you, you won't find it in the future of coaching today, because I don't believe in teaching something that you can download from my site. And I believe in taking a look at what's really going on in today's market. What's going on in the Canadian lake home? Well, this is what's been going on. Terribly cold temperatures, lots of snow, and this is Lake Huron, where the Canadian lake home is found. I'm talking to you live from our international office, which is separate from the Canadian lake home. Sometimes we do our business breakthrough Google Hangouts from the Canadian lake home, and sometimes we do them right out on the lake. But this is what our lake looks like right now. It's just about 90% frozen. Lake Huron is one of the Great Lakes and it's about 90% frozen. It is just deathly cold here. We've had a very cold February, and that's what is going on. So I want to heat up our own businesses together, right? And I want you to experience the thrill of victories, the thousands of victories that I've had. And you're on here making an investment of your time. There's two investments that you need to make, your time and your money. And so many coaches, so many people in business today fail to understand this. They nickel and dime everything, and they wonder why they don't experience the kind of success that they want. And if you are unwilling to invest in a high-end program or service, and think about it, if you want to command maximum fees and royalties, and you have candidates for your program saying to you, I really want to invest in your program, but when I have made this amount of money or when I've achieved this amount of success, then I will invest with you. How are you going to answer them, right? They're putting, your potential candidates are putting the proverbial cart before the horse, right? Because they should be investing in your programs right up front. And I make no bones about it. And in fact, if you've been following our track record and all of the clients that have made sizable investments to work with me, they realize that it is an investment, and they realize that it's crucial that they're not wasting any more time, because you don't have any time to waste. In fact, if you just start analyzing the time that you've spent already today, no matter where you are, you've already wasted a lot of time, because you're not clear on what you should be doing. You're guessing, and you're not putting your time and your effort where it really needs to be placed. And we live in the advisory age, the intellectual property age. You've got to be doing things differently today. So you create an amazing ROIT business, return on invested time business, so you can grow your company in the way that you want. And you've got the cash flow to continuously put back into your company and grow it. So you need to be able to close some deals quickly, which means you need better processes to be able to do it. All right. So you following me here? So let's go back to, let's get ourselves away from what's going on at the Canadian Lake Home. And let me ask you this question right now. If you talk to, or you consider some of the seven-figure speakers, and we could probably quote a whole bunch of several names, right? There's not a lot anymore. Why? Because the realities in today's marketplace is that, creating a seven-figure business, following what most experts are teaching today, is a recipe for disaster. And you know this. This requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of people to attract masses of people under your influence. And there's got to be a better model today to get us away from doing this. Okay? And this is why you're going to love, and why it's absolutely crucial that you have a model that allows you to pre-select the right candidates for your program, so you can command maximum fees and royalties, and where you get a chance to work with fewer and bigger and better clients, and leave all of the ones here, all of the ones that are darkened, leave those people for your competitors, because they're not the kinds of clients that want to invest in high-end programs and services. They want to nickel and dime everything. You want the people that are really potential candidates that really value your IP and really are intrigued and committed to the ROI that you promise them. And so you need a better pre-selection criteria and a process, so you can get to these kinds of people that will trip all over themselves to pay you to move forward in your programs. So you need a better process to get rid of the people that are really not your ideal candidates. And what we're talking about today will work if you're new in coaching, or you're new at just building an expert platform, an advisory platform. But what I'm telling you today in 2015 and beyond, if you really want to survive and thrive and get to that $500,000 and create a scalable model for your business coaching and consulting services, you need to do one better. You need to position yourself as the coach's coach, the expert's expert, or the advisor's advisor. And in fact, for the few of you here that really get what I'm telling you, you need to take one more step. You need to position yourself like I have. And that's what my clients invest in. They invest in my processes, systems, advisory-based tools, assessment tools that allow them to consult 5 to 10 minutes and close deals, our agreements, all of the conversion processes and systems that we've spent almost 12,000 hours creating so that you can stand above and beyond anybody else in your industry. And so the goal here is to position yourself above all the noise in your industry. And that's what I mean by comparing. It's either comparing yourself to others or have everybody else compare themselves to you. So if you are just a coach, consultant, or advisor or trainer, you're on the lowest rung right here. You're where all the other coaches, experts, and advisors are. And chances are you're probably doing everything they're doing. You're writing a book, or you've got a book. You're putting all your time and effort into promoting a book or a low-end program. You are creating a membership site, or you've got a membership site. You're paying a copywriter. You're putting most of your time and effort into low-return activities that just reinforce that you're going to be here, and you're never going to be able to step into Milgram's Law, the 1-second rule, Zipf's Law, the 4-second rule, right, which is right up here, and the law of irrelevancy, and positioning yourself right up here. You see, when you position yourself right up here, you're causing everybody to compare themselves to you. You become incomparable. You guarantee yourself that you will never, ever, ever become irrelevant. All right. So you need to understand this. So I want to make sure that we, starting here off of a common denominator here. Okay. You getting this? I have shared here over the course of the last several weeks. If you look at each one of my clients here that I've interviewed, they're all using our systems, all exploding their companies. I just interviewed Brian a few weeks ago on how he's gone, from struggling with a low-end consulting business, selling $500 deals, today having upper 5-figure, 6-figure, and 7-figure deals, and he's become a national brand, all within a few months. Or Chris and Susan Smith. They built a multi-million-dollar business off of some strategically created assessment tools and processes and executing a different way. Or Joy Pecchia. Joy not only has systems of certification and closing very high-end deals that run into 6 figures, but she's got Fortune 500 companies now co-branding with her IP, building 2 types of royalty streams that no other coach, no other expert, no other advisor in her marketplace has. It has allowed her to trump everybody else. How about this CEO of a $4 billion company, Kellen Flukiger? Kellen had some really good traction before he invested in our programs, and he's gone from selling low-end deals to very high-end deals. And today he's become a huge tour de force in industry. Sean Miller, 7-figure deals. He shared his anatomy of how to put together a 6-figure coaching deal following our predictable, certain, and secure systems. And I interviewed Sean on that. How about Stephen Rowell? Today, Stephen closes very high-end deals, all using our tools, commanding high-end strategic partners, people that want to promote him into multiple industries, all because he understands, and in 30 days, understood the power of ROIT to grow his company. Or how about Winton Churchill? I just interviewed Winton again on how his company, how he's risen to the top of all the noise in the freelancing industry following our systems of closing high-end deals, of creating a certification training division within his company, and now setting up the perfect model to have and command massive attention in his industry. So it's play big or it's go home. And these are just some of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of video case studies that we have. We have thousands of clients that have leveraged our systems over the last 12 years. And I'll tell you this, that I am never been more excited about coaching, consulting, and training, but yet I've never been more fearful of of the realities in today's market, and just seeing so many great people coming to our company desperate for assistance. And I can't work with everybody. We do have some great systems to leverage and to assist leaders today, but unless you understand and your potential candidates of your programs understand that you pay for the best and only cry once, you're going to be in great difficulty. And so I want to encourage you right now to follow what I'm going to show you about building and understanding that the future of coaching today is around leveraged profits. It's around having coaching royalties or consulting royalties or training royalties. It's around creating something once and leveraging it over and over again in multiple industries. And we're not talking about licensing, and we're certainly not talking about franchising. Those systems do not work for coaches, consultants, and trainers today. For a long-term viable business that will allow you to grow above all the noise in your industry and create assets that you can sell or that you can leverage long-term with your company. So let's move forward here today, shall we? And I want to make sure that you understand that this traditional business funnel, not only did it not work in 2014, but in 2015, this model is virtually useless in today's market. Now, I know this still goes against so many experts, quote unquote experts and gurus today. Many of the experts and gurus are my clients, and they are teaching something completely different in their own programs that they sell, modeling what we do. Why? Because they get it. They get the traditional funnel starting with a $27 product going to $49.99, $499 program doesn't work. And that's why I drew a small dollar sign here. It simply doesn't work in today's marketplace. Your marketplace expects to get your best, and then they're gone. So there's got to be a better way of getting your potential candidates through a business funnel. The funnel is broken, and it's decimating companies today. The funnel's too long. There's a 50% return rate. It's actually closer to about 80% today. And there's a 70% loss at each level. What does that mean? That means that only 30% of people that get into potential candidates that get here will actually even complete this, let alone even considering your next program or service. And as I mentioned, your potential candidates expect to get your best, and then they're gone. So you've got to have a way of getting your potential candidates into your best advice right away and still protecting your advice and not giving away your advice for free. Okay? So this really is the poor person's business funnel, right? 100 people that pay $27. The realities are 15 people will move into your $49 program. 3 people will move into your $99 program, and only 1 buyer of that 100 will move into a $499 program. And this is what most experts and gurus are still teaching today. This leads to, on average, $28.81 per customer. It is if you're trapped in this model right now, I want to again challenge you to do what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. And I want to help you reorientate your time so you're not doing this anymore. The problem then with this is you lose speed to market, you immediately lose market share forever, and your market dwindles at each level, and you've got an incredibly small chance of making a sale. So the traditional business funnel is not the funnel to use in the IP age and the service-based economy in which we live. In the advisory age, it simply doesn't work. All right? If you want to stand out, you've got to do something momentous. And you've got to do it in a way that, if you will, literally and figuratively flips the business funnel and flips your thinking and challenges the status quo on what you're doing right now. Because probably most of what you're doing, and I can only tell you this after having consulted thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs over the past 12 years, most of what I see, most entrepreneurs are simply copying or doing what other people are doing, i.e., what their competitors are doing. And you've got to have a way of doing something completely different. Okay, what we want to do then is we want to flip the business funnel. So we want to get away from a wide funnel at the top and narrow at the bottom. And instead, we want to be narrow at the top and wide at the base. Okay, this is the recipe for accelerated growth. And you need accelerated growth, and you need processes that will allow you to charge $27,000 or higher on the front end and create massive residuals if you want to get to that $500,000 level. And again, doing the math and analyzing a lot of businesses and doing this for 12 years now in over 120 industries, there's something magical about companies that get to $500,000 in 3 to 6 months. They have the cash flow to be able to really make sizable, the proper investments within their company. They have better processes that allow them better conversion than their competitors. And that's everything today. It's a race today of having a better conversion process than your competitors. You see, when you have a better conversion process, you automatically have a better lead generation system than your competitors. I want you to think about that. Your problem is not leads. Your problem is having a better conversion process. Having a better conversion process gives you automatically the posturing and the positioning to be able to leverage your IP. It allows you to, with just a few strategic alliance partners or clients, other coaches, other consultants, start attracting those kinds of people. And it's amazing how fast you can do this with the right systems, processes, levels of execution, levels of focus, and now start moving into multiple markets with your own, if you will, sales force. But they're not a sales force. They're your own clients. There are other consultants, other trainers, other coaches that are co-branding your authority and credibility in their markets and paying you a royalty. My company has been shot into orbit when I discovered this. And again, it's not because I'm smarter. It's just because there was so much demand on my time that going back 7-8 years ago, I had so many companies that wanted to hire me to build out their own coaching programs. Or Glenn, can you coach our clients? Or can you take some of our systems, your systems, and can we sell those to our clients? It got me thinking, what's a better business model to be able to leverage my own IP? That's when I came up with the coaching and co-branding model, okay? So I trust that you're getting this and you're following me. You've got to be able to invert the business funnel, and you've got to have high-end programs and services, and you've got to have leveraged profits down here that are cumulative, long-term, and passive that allow you to move into multiple markets. And that is the power of a program that we've created. And I'm not here selling certification royalty riches to you, because we do have a specific vetting process for this. But I just wanted to show you that inside of our certification royalty riches program, it's really focused on helping coaches, consultants, and trainers, first of all, explode profits. Okay, and then from that, organizing their IP around 7 critical systems. Okay, and these are the 7 critical systems. I'm not here teaching on this. I just want you to see this here really quickly. So you need a business acceleration systems, and you need a royalty revenue system for your company, where you've got $15,000 to $20,000 certification processes, where you've got your own coaching, consulting fees that run at least this, if not a lot higher, like my clients. And you've got systems and processes that allow you to co-brand and move into multiple markets. All right. So that is the future of coaching. And I wanted to touch in on that. And we're going to delve into this deeper next week on our coaching and our on our next Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. I want to summarize a few concepts here right now with you. And I want to, if you will, juxtapose these with probably with what you're doing right now, with what you should be doing. So instead of thinking from the traditional business funnel, I want you to think from the inverted business funnel, okay? So I want you we need to see this. I want you, instead of comparing yourself to others, make yourself incomparable. Have everybody else compare themselves to you. I want you to think away from ROI, as important as that is, right? For, you know, the ROI that you're giving your clients, the ROI that I give to my clients, return on investment. I want you to think of something that's even deeper, and that's ROIT, return on invested time. I want you to think, instead of charging one time, a low-end fee, charge premium prices. I want you to think, instead of profits, leveraged profits. Okay? I want you to think, instead of profits and one-time transactions, leverage profits that are threefold, that are cumulative, that are long-term, and that are passive. I want you to think from doing what everybody else is doing to understanding this. What you know and when you know it is crucial. Write this down. What you know and when you know it is critical to your success in 2015. So you got to know something that your competitors don't know. And what I'm covering here with you, almost all of the competitors in your industry don't know this. And not only that, but when you know it, I'm telling you right now that you have to have coaching, consulting, and training royalties if you want to make it in 2015. You can fool yourself into thinking, well, a book's going to get me there. A free report's going to get me there. You know, any of this stuff's going to get you there. I'll tell you, yes, I've got all that stuff, but that's not how I started my company. And that's not how I've grown my company in accelerated fashion. I've been focusing on, for the last 12 years, putting systems, processes together. Instead of doing what others do, doing what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. Instead of thinking of the information age, I want you to think of the advisory age, the post-information age. Instead of thinking about your advice as information, I want you to think about your advice following the 3 Ps. Okay? And the 3 Ps are position yourself, package your IP differently, and create a better plan of execution. And I want you to think from getting your message out there around know, like, and trust. That might have worked in the information age. And instead, I want you to think toward the irrelevancy law, the law of irrelevancy. That it's not about knowing and liking and trusting today. It's ensuring that you are not irrelevant. All right. So I want to challenge all of you to think this way. And as a next step and getting ready for our next Business Breakthrough Google Hangout, which we're going to do part 2 of the Future of Coaching. And I will provide you access to the Future of Coaching book before it comes out in its published form. But you need to understand that success ultimately doesn't come in a book. Success comes by being close to the source of momentum. It comes by investing in yourself and investing in accelerated business systems, accelerated teaching and learning, investing in getting results for your company, and getting results in your company in a way that you're not doing right now, so you can build the foundation of a very successful company. And if you are committed to that, we are committed to you. And we have been getting a lot of emails, and it's growing. We are very careful, and as I mentioned, I'm in a very fortunate position to be very selective on who I work with. Right now, I have virtually no availabilities. And when I say that, we always keep a couple of positions available for the right kind of candidate, because we're into a lot of different markets. And I'm with a couple of big corporations right now that are opening up all kinds of venues. But what I have done, and it's come on recommendation from a number of you, is I've opened up a couple of positions for strategy sessions directly with me. If you would like to enter that process, all you need to do is text the word strategy, STRATEGY. And I didn't plan this. I've only done this just because of all of the emails and phone calls that have been coming, wanting access to my time. There is an application process to that, and just to ensure that you come prepared, I come prepared. But if you would like to engage, I always, because we do attract a lot of new people every single week, hundreds of you are, those of you that are attending our Google Hangouts are growing like crazy. And some of you got some amazing things going on that, with a few strategic changes and with the kind of tools that I can give you, I'm all about case studies and growing our company even faster as well. So if you would like to enter into the process, you just need to text the word strategy, all lowercase, STRATEGY, to 1-248-469-4376. That will allow you and I to exchange contact information. You don't go into any database. We are not marketing at you, so you don't need to worry about that. It's just the fastest way for you and me to exchange contact information. 1-248-469-4376. 1-248-469-4376. And we can start the process together, and I can ensure that you get expedited as well. But there'll be a few things that you will need to do as well. So that would be the next step. Many of you have been inquiring on that. And so I wanted to honor, especially those of you that are new to our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. So I look forward to our part 2 of the future of coaching. Please take the concepts that I covered today, and I want to encourage you to think selectively. In other words, thinking about what it is that you can eliminate and what you can begin to do. And think about educating the ideal client, and thinking about getting them to qualify themselves to you. All right. And getting you to have the positioning power and the packaging power of your IP that causes your potential candidates to sell themselves to you. All right. And when you can start doing this and do this a lot more powerfully, it's amazing the kind of traction that you can get. Traction, just like my clients. My clients have invested with me to be able to do that. And I want to salute you to making the right kinds of investments in your company to get the kind of growth that you're really after. Remember, in today's market, it's not good enough to be a coach, consultant, advisor. It's not really even good enough to be the coach's coach or the advisor's advisors or the consultant's consultant. You've got to have systems, tools, processes that allow you to rise above all the noise in your industry. I look forward to our next Business Breakthrough Google Hangout together.